friends, it's time for round number 4. We have Alexey Paulot versus Gab Nassif. I'm going to send it on over to Ailey and Corey.
So much, Maria. We are ready for our first round of standard here. Ailey Loney alongside Corey Baumeister, and we've got none other than the man with the yellow hat, although I didn't see him wearing the hat.
Oof, left it at home.
I would like to lay a formal complaint, please, to the hat department.
Well, it's too cold. That doesn't cover your ears. It's very cold outside. I get it.
Quite cold,
I get it. Yeah.
It is quite cold. We've got Gabriel Nassif up against Alexey Paulot, both players at 3-0, as the desk mentioned. And, you know, fighting here to remain undefeated. The better you start your tournament off, the better your day twos are going to go, especially when it comes to like tiebreakers, that sort of thing, heading into the top 8. So an ideal start here for both of these players.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really nice to see Alexey back here after taking down a spotlight to make it here with Vivi. You know, the last time we saw him, 2023, taking 9th. At the World Championship, so close to being trained up for a very long time. That one place is so important when it comes to the World Championship. So a phenomenal player. Excited to see him do battle here once again.
Gab Nassif at the top of your screen. Alexey Paulot down below. We got Demir Control versus Is It Lessons. Now, when asked about this deck and what the win conditions are, basically what I heard was we're going to bore our opponents to death.
Yeah.
So Gran hits the board here first for Alexey Paulot. He has to get a really fast start here and get Gab dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nassif, this is a classic. You know, we've all watched his stream where, you know, you're playing on the Magic Online clock down to 1 minute and then he takes the win. That's kind of what this deck is going to be like all day. But something very huge here that Alexey bricked on, it looks like. If you can resolve artist talent, that's going to be huge. Demir notoriously has a horrific time actually removing enchantments and artifacts. And now we look at Nassif's hand, which did not contain an untapped blue source for those 2 spell snares, and now they're going to be online for artist talent. That is gigantic.
So getting a couple cards in the bin there. Getting that lesson count up to try and get the seniors discount online. I stole that one from you.
Yes.
From Portland.
That's all right.
Last weekend.
I saw it online as well, so that is really, really funny. But, you know, looking at Nassif's deck, this Demir control list, you look at it and you just think, God, like, what is this very much targeting? And like a lot of standard decks that we're going to be seeing, it is very much targeting the Cubs.
Yes.
So I would imagine this is the type of matchup that Nassif actually just very much doesn't want to see.
Oh, yeah, especially with this start from Alexey. He is just cooking on all cylinders here. Monument to Endurance down. Gran gets in for 1 whole point of damage.
Yep.
But it matters because she's discarding, and Monument to Endurance very much likes it when you do that. So.
Yep. And that's the thing, is both players for game 1, it's going to be very interesting. There's going to be a ton of removal on each side that is not going to be that effective. But the big difference is Alexey is able to loot those removal spells away, these firebending lessons, etc. like that. So big advantage in that department as, well, Gran is most of the time not going to live with how much extra removal Nassif has. But
wow. Look at that.
As it stands right now.
3 spell snares, 1 consult the star charts. 3 steps ahead and deadly cover-up. So we could see deadly cover-up as Nassif's first play of the game here, unless Alexey costs something for 2 mana.
Yeah, and that is that's one of the things these Demir control players were really talking about is deadly cover-up, taking cards out of the yard to kind of take the biggest threat, the most important thing out. You do that a couple of times, all of a sudden you are kind of like, you know, a control deck that's also a mill deck. You're taking copies out of your opponent's deck, and then you have just classic win cons like the 2 Restless Reefs in Nassif's deck.
Yes, classic win cons, creature lands that happen to mill your opponent. So, you know, that is a win con, I guess. If you have the time to mill them out, go for it. But as it stands now, Storm Chaser's Talent, Monument to Endurance, Gran, all going unanswered here from Gab Nassif. He's quite happy to let this all play out. And the yard is full, so 3 steps ahead. Going to draw cards here instead of countering anything that Alexey's up to.
Yeah, and Alexey didn't try to play any of the 2-drops in hand here, it looks like. You know, didn't want to play Artist Talent or something, so it's kind of sniffed out the fact that, well, there's 4 spell snares in the main. So it's...
Smells like spell snare.
Exactly. Nothing like spell snare in the morning.
Yeah, I could do without it, honestly. I prefer coffee, but...
There you go. Yeah, to each his own.
Land number 5. Here comes what I like to call Grand 2.0, but Alexey Paulot is going to have to try and resolve that another time, and he sure does. Now we're going to see another spell snare from Gabriel Nassif, who says, no thank you, I can do this all day.
Yep, and those cards, of course, did cost 1, but the mana value being 2, that's going to be an important thing to keep track of. Something like also we're going to see Warping a Riddler.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost 2 mana. It is mana value 5. So something to keep an eye on as Spell Snare is going to be one of the most impactful cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed here.
Absolutely. When we were talking about the decks and what they got from Lorwyn Eclipse, there wasn't all that much to be gained for the Is It Lessons deck besides like Spell Snare. So, you know, kudos to the players bringing it this weekend. I do think they have an uphill battle, but perhaps the focus has shifted so much onto the Cub decks that they might get away with it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. You know, we saw at the regional championship, at least in Portland last weekend, Is It Lessons it was the most played deck going in, had a really bad weekend.
It was terrible.
And when that kind of thing happens, well, the next weekend at the Pro Tour, you expect there to be a lot less of a deck, but and that is the case here. It is a lot less than what we saw at tournaments last weekend. But that just means the attention, the focus is not completely on Lessons, so it could be a great weekend for it. That's the ebb and flow of competitive Magic at the highest level. People pay attention to those little details.
Sure do. Deadly Cover-Up number 1 fired off here from Gabriel Nassif. Now he gets to go and dig through the graveyard and take a card, any card. It's going to be Accumulate Wisdom, and he's going to now rip through that deck and take out every single copy thereof.
Interesting choice by Nassif because, well, Ancestral Recall here does mill Alexey by 3 cards, by drawing 3 cards. So, all right, absolutely kidding. You, of course, want to take the Wisdom out right away, and that's going to stop the velocity here of Alexey pretty quickly. So
no more Grand Ancestral Recall to look forward to here. Grand's in the yard, too. And time to rebuild here for Alexey. He sure did shuffle.
And that is the nice aspect of Deadly Cover-Up. It's already a phenomenal sweeper. That's going to be great against a lot of the Cub decks, a lot of other aggressive matchups, but even in a matchup like this, being able to see your opponent's hand is a big deal.
I mean, I guess Gab could work backwards to figure out what is in hand for Alexey, just based on, you know, digging through the library there, but...
Yeah, getting to see the hand
is a lot easier. If he could figure that out, then, woof, you are a magician.
And Alexey just played the biggest card that these lessons got, Steam Vents.
That's true.
The mana base was already pretty solid for the Is It Lessons deck as, you know, you don't need a ton of red, but this definitely helps.
Yeah. Leveling up Storm Chaser's talents, nothing else really happening for Alexey at the moment. Just the Spire Bluff Canal, another talent, and Spell Snare in hand. Is currently tapped out, so what is Nassif up to? Consult the star charts. I maintain this is still one of the best card draw spells, or at least card advantage spells.
Absolutely. Yep. That stock up, both very good, but this kind of draw-go style deck, this kind of draw-go deck, you definitely want Consult the star charts over this. And this game really feels like it's already well and truly in favor of Gabriel Nassif here, and it was all about that turn 2 when Alexey didn't have red mana to resolve an artist talent before the spell snares were available. That was a huge moment here for the Hall of Fame.
I mean, could have been GG because there's nothing that Gab can do about the permanents on the battlefield, barring countering them when they're on the stack. So
yeah. And, you know, as I say that, this is actually, with the land, this is looking pretty brutal. That's just 2 activations here from the land, and the loss of life from the monument is probably going to be too much. So Demolition Field going to do some heavy lifting here.
Alexey gets to resolve Storm Chaser's talent number 2, fights and wins the counters battle there. Gab Nassif digging once again, stocking up, trying to find something of value. I see Requiting Hex in hands. That deals with one of the otters.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough.
No,
yeah, right now, Nassif definitely needed to deal with both otters and then destroy the land. So just at 2 low of life to be able to stabilize there.
All right, so this was not a matchup that this deck was poised to beat, that Nassif's deck was poised to beat. So it makes sense here that Alexey would be up a game. But now, going to the sideboards, what do you like in the list for Nassif? He's got Glenelendra Guardian, Unagi of Kyoshi Island, Tashana's Tidebinder, One Shitong, Strategic Betrayal, 0 Point Ballad, Annul, Disdainful Stroke, Flash Freeze, Spell Pierce, and Soul Guide Lantern.
Annuls and Soul Guide Lanterns are going to be great, as well as the Unagi at Kyoshi Island. That's going to be a really powerful card. So, you know, I would say that's going to, of course, help Nassif's deck construction here. But on the flip side is Alexey also just gets a lot of counter spells and gets to take out some of the removal spells. So I would still think a bit of a rough matchup for Nassif.
And then from Alexey's side of things, we know that there's not that many targets for Firebending Lesson, for example. He's got Ral Crackling Wit, Quantum Riddler, Pyroclasm, a One Shitong of his own, It'll Quench You, Seer, Spell Snare, Spider Sense, 3 Steps Ahead, and Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah, yeah. And being able to just get some of the removal spells out, get Quench, Spider Sense, 3 Steps Ahead, Wang Shitong, Riddler, and Raw, all those look great in the face of a control deck.
Grand chipping away at the life total of Gab, or at least attempting to. We have Glenelendra Guardian, a Null, Tashana's Tidebinder, stock up in hand, as well as 2 Verges for Gab Nassif.
Yeah, new Glenelendra Guardian here. A nod to Glenelendra Archmage. We've seen from way back in the day, having Persist.
Yep.
Being able to flash this in, have a body that can maybe block Gran, and then have the ability to counter stuff.
Surprise.
And
So Gab wanting to perform an action before attackers were declared.
yeah,
Attacked, and I just looked at the card. So.
Didn't verbalize as we have every other time.
yeah. As Tashana's Tidebinder here to counter that ability, plus go for a block.
Yeah. Well, he did the same thing he's done every other.
Yeah, no, it's
every
fine.
other
I don't
time
think he
we've
did
done
anything
combat
wrong.
here. So.
Got our judges to figure out exactly
Yeah, but
the fix on these kind of situations.
I mean, we could probably just shuffle.
Yeah,
instead,
that's what I'm.
Oh, he
leaning
drew
towards.
already.
Already saw the
Got
card
them.
from Gran. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically,
Usually
at this
will
point,
result in a
you flip the cards
GRV,
before should
and you
have.
continue on.
We're going to call this looking at extra cards. We're going to have you shuffle your library, and we're going to go from there.
Big thanks to Ward there, the table judge from Roanoke, Virginia. Very, very.
Hey, I know someone
talented
cool
judge.
from Roanoke.
Just
Yeah?
for
Yeah.
this game and any future games.
My brother Brad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I knew it. Yep.
Our triggers clearly
Actually, there's a
so that we don't
really
have
cool
this
dog
again.
named Henry.
Ah, of course. Yes, my pup.
Alrighty, so fix that up there. Gran's ability is on the stack here, and Tashana's Tidebinder will jump in to get in on the action and try and counter that ability, and then also try and kill Gran. But Combustion Technique says no.
So it still counters the ability,
Yes.
but now Gran is back to being online,
Yes.
and play continues. And, you know, that would be the type of thing Alexey almost assuredly would not try to attack here if we didn't have Quench, a removal spell, anything like that to be able to interact with this Tidebinder ability, as that exchange is just very brutal.
When you attacked here, was damage recorded?
Actually, 18, yeah.
Thank you, judges. Y'all are the best.
Keeping everything correct.
Yeah. Both players' responsibility to maintain the board state and life totals as they should be.
Yep. And this is going to be the type of match that, you know, the little chip shot damage here from Gran, probably not going to be the most impactful as the games that Alexey wins. It will be just with a ton of cards, a monument on the battlefield.
Yeah. Just an embarrassment of riches.
Yes. So Nassif playing this proactively says a lot. It's saying, number one, I want this creature to resolve. Number two, I want you to think I don't have a counter spell. Like, I don't have my 2 mana available, and now this annul is going to be backbreaking. Nice. Honestly, that was just
That was
a little subtle mind game that Nassif played.
Yeah.
If there was 4 mana untapped, do you think Alexey goes for that play?
No.
Maybe not. Yeah, so that's how you become a 2-time Pro Tour champion
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
and Hall of Famer on the best team. All the accolades that you could really track, Nassif already has them.
He hasn't won a world championship, has he?
All right, most of the accolades that
So we
you
have
can
something
track.
to work towards still here for Nassif, right? He hasn't done it all. Hasn't
All
ticked all
right.
those boxes.
That's fair. That's fair.
But that was a sweet, sweet play there from one of the game's best. Now he gets the turn back with the Guardian. Stocking up, taking a look at the top 5 cards, determining what it is he wants to deal with what Alexey is deploying.
Looks like 2 other cards in hand, which are both land. So stock up 100%. All right, maybe not 100%, but pretty likely going to the hand. We're not going to take the lands, and then it's just, do you want Lantern or the Requiting Hex to deal with Grand Grand? The Lantern is definitely more impactful, as public enemy number 1 right now in Nassif's mind would probably be if these Accumulate Wisdom start, you know, popping off on the full Ancestral Recall mode.
Yeah. Oh, this little interaction with the Glenlander Guardian is actually pretty sick. And Requiting Hex.
Oh, do some blighting onto it?
Yeah, you can blight on your dude and then be able to use his ability again.
Ooh, okay, that is spicy.
Nice.
Wow. Now, this is just kind of brutal with how it worked. Now Nassif actually has 2 mana up and does not have the counter spell. And now Alexey had Monument number 2 and could have went for it, but was like, you know, you dealt with this with 1 mana up. Surely you have a clean counter spell for it with 2.
Surely.
This would have been the perfect turn to do it. But I guess you can just remove the Glenalandra counter off of it.
Yep.
But then, you know, Alexey still gets to draw, and you're going to have to fight through that counter eventually.
Okay. Combustion technique targeting the Glenlander Guardian.
There's the way to fight through it to start.
Can counter that spell. Alexey gets to draw a card off of that. So there's downside, but hey, at least there's a body on board. Ooh-wee. And Artist Talent was going to resolve one way or another. Alexey Paulot played that turn very nicely indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the cost reduction, the senior discount, as you were saying earlier from Grand Grand, is ready to go. And now with Artist Talent on the battlefield and just still a good amount of gas in hand from Alexey. Looking quite strong.
I like that Lantern, not gonna lie, but there is one in hand already, you said.
Yeah, and that's the problem is Lantern deals with about half of the deck, right? The graveyard aspect is very important to control, but that's not the only way that Alexey and Is It Lessons deck attack a control deck postboard. We see Quantum Riddler in hand, a great way to gain some extra card advantage, even be a one-of, but then Monument.
Monument is the big...
Yeah, Monument's the big one. Monument doesn't care what your graveyard looks like, and it's going to keep refueling it, so... A card like Lantern is so good against Is It Lessons when you mix it with pressure. But when you don't mix it with pressure, you know, it really is a Band-Aid that will not solve the problem forever.
Pressure is something we know that this deck doesn't have, unfortunately. Like, there's no, you know, Meringue River Region or Quantum Riddler of their own for Nassif. I mean, is he even playing any of those cards?
Yeah, 1 River Region and then 2 Wan Shi Tong Librarian.
Yeah.
That's the true win cons.
No Riddlers?
Yeah, and, you know, there is some extra win cons in the board that I'm sure we brought in, but, you know, that is the price you pay for this control deck because, well, these proactive threats are not really good against Cub decks. Against Cub decks, you want just interaction every single turn to stop them from gaining an absurd amount of mana. But that is a cost in a matchup like this.
Big thanks here for Nassif. Bit of decision paralysis, perhaps.
Yeah, just a big thought of, like, how do I get this talent off the battlefield? I mean, if a Monument ever resolves, how do you ever get that off the battlefield?
Yeah.
And the plain and simple truth to it is you just don't.
Yeah. You know, there's no bounce effects, barring the 1 Meringue River region you mentioned.
Tide binding the Monument
Tide binding,
trigger
sure.
is like the main thing that you can really do right now.
That's kind of the awkward position as a control player, is like, eventually you have to have a way to win. You have to take a proactive play. You can't just sit there and wait for your opponent to do things and hope that you have, you know, all the answers, because the truth is you don't. You know, spoiler alert, they don't always have it. You got to make them have it.
Yep, ain't that the truth.
Feed the cycle. I love this card. It's just a clean way to answer another creature, but being able to forage as well, considering the amount of things that they're doing. Like, there's always something in the graveyard to forage off of that spell.
Definitely. And pretty fun that Nassif and and his team, you know, kind of were on the breakout lessons deck from Worlds, it kind of looked like, wow, this deck just looked so much better than anything else. And now they're playing a
Now
deck that
they're
maybe
trying
doesn't
to
have a
beat it,
good,
yes.
yeah, doesn't even necessarily have a good matchup against it because they thought,
Yeah.
well, not a lot of people were going to bring it.
All right, fellas, we built it. Now can we beat it?
Yes.
With the help of the community at large, of course.
Yep.
All right, Mountain Steam Vents, Riddler, Monument to Endurance. A tapped out Gab Nassif is the time now to deploy this monument.
Yeah, shield is down. So now Alexey has like two choices here. You either level up talent, play monument, say go, or play monument, warp Riddler, draw 2. And monument's going to be good just about any time, so I like this quite a bit. And those are the things that are very tough for Dimir to deal with. Artifacts and enchantments.
Whenever you cast non-creature spell, you may discard. If you do, draw. Okay, so he just decided not to discard there?
Yep,
Okay.
looks like it.
Or missed it. You know, one of those things is possible.
Yeah, you would think you don't really want the steam vents here, but you also are plenty fine saving your looting effects until the monument comes down. But yeah, I think I would have looted there.
The turn passes back now to Alexey, plays the River Pyre Verge. Steam Vents, Quantum Riddler in hand. On the other side of things, Gab has just a Watery Grave, so is in big trouble. Here comes the Quantum Riddler. No warp. Just a good old 4/6.
And with 2 cards in hand.
Yeah, you couldn't get rid of another
Oh,
one.
okay,
It's
we
just the one, it's
do
just the
have a 1 card.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was going to say, I saw 2 lands at the start of the turn. I was like,
Yeah, no.
I don't see any reason to not play a land beforehand. But yeah, Alexey plays a land and is threatening to draw 2. And looks like this is a desperation. Crack a lantern. Try to find some counterspell.
Jeez, nothing.
Watery Grave number 2.
So Alexey gets to draw 2 more cards. Another land, not what he wants to see. 3 steps ahead. Not able to cast that at the moment, but he's poised to take this game down and, you know, pretty clean 2-0 here up against Gabriel Nassif, if that's the case.
Yeah, it's definitely looking brutal. But Alexey is at 10. This Reef is a Death Toucher. You really don't want to block with Quantum Riddler. But the three steps ahead looks quite good at just cloning your Riddler. So if I'm
and
Alexey,
then being able to block it next turn.
exactly. If
Okay.
I'm Alexey, I am not blocking right now. Use your life total as a resource, and then go to copy Quantum Riddler whenever you're down to 1 card and draw a good chunk of cards here.
Yeah.
Off cloning that.
He just needs to be careful because those 2 fairies are 5 damage as it stands.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, the Glenalandra being able to counter the 3 steps ahead is a big deal. But Fire Bending Lesson.
Okay. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, that actually is quite strong here.
Will we have enough mana, though, to kick that and then also use
Yeah,
2
it looks
steps
like
ahead?
it. With the cost reduction, you're able to fire that.
Oh, yeah, true.
You're able to fire that.
And get treasures off with Monument.
Oh. And you get to draw 2 off the Riddler being in play when you loot, because we're going down to 1 card, it looks like.
Yuck. This is cool.
Attaque 24 à 2. Nice. En réponse.
So goes to counter that.
Okay.
Okay, we still have 2 cards in hand, so unable to draw the 2.
Oh, so many lands. Island, 3 steps ahead. Cool. The draw mode was chosen off of the Monument to Endurance.
Je vais faire un trésor.
Ok.
And have the treasure, now has the clone ability ready to go here for the Quantum Riddler.
Copier un Riddler. Trigger.
So is able to loot with the talent again. So should be able to discard and draw 2 here. And then the clone comes in of Quantum Riddler, draw another card up to 4 cards. But that being said, Alexey is kind of drawing bricks here off the top. Grand, 2 land, and another Grand. So that was an incredible turn from Alexey. And all that, the final hand is 2 land, one of which comes into play tapped, and then 2 Grands. Ooh.
Tell us how you really feel, Corey.
Yeah. And wow, not even deploying one of these Grands. So from what I can see, if we just have one removal spell here, you could animate that Reef, kill one of the Riddlers, and attack for lethal, but Nassif's hand is just as bad.
Jeez, yeah, both players have been drawing absolute bricks, as you call them.
Yeah.
Spell Snare in hand, that's not going to do anything. Demolition Field and Watery Grave. Not what the Doctor ordered either.
Very shocked to not see that treasure turned into Grand, though.
Yeah, just as like an extra...
Just a blocker for
Yeah.
the Reef. If it comes down to that, like right now, you know, Alexey just left himself dead to one removal spell.
Maybe Alexey bluffing a counterspell of his own with that treasure left up.
Yeah, this is just the stage of the game where Nassif, if Nassif did have a removal spell, a Bitter Triumph or whatever, you can't, you respect a one mana bluff or anything. You just have to go for it.
Indeed you do. Alexey Paulot down to 6, the Reef taken care of, courtesy of the copy of Quantum Riddler. 2 fairies left on the other side of the battlefield, 3 4s apiece. Alexey gets to untap. Oh!
Oof.
Okay.
Hey, if you squint hard enough, I believe that was Ancestral Recall right off the top.
Right.
Now we get double discount.
Yup. There it is.
Put Grand on there.
Honestly, it
Nassif's
looks...
face looked just like that.
Yeah, that looks exactly like Accumulate Wisdom if I...
Comedic timing,
Yes.
cards in hand person. Good job.
Oh, but Ancestral
Spell Snare.
Recall would have been much better. Wouldn't have been countered
would've
by
been.
Spell Snare.
Yeah. But still, we do get the triggers off of the Monument,
Yep.
which is big news, and also Artist Talents. So, yeah, now we just turn to, I'm going to chuck a Monument at your face and see how you handle that.
Yeah, we are definitely getting to that spot. Now we discard, now we draw 2. And that did look like 2 more lands. Okay.
Okay,
nope,
Ral, all right.
that'll do.
That's some action.
That will do. Everything coming up, Alexey. And even if Alexey does just brick a couple more draw steps, the thing is just Alexey's going through so many cards. At some point, it will be impossible to brick. And this game seems to well and truly be in the hands of Alexey.
This is the beauty of the deck, you know?
Yeah.
This is what it does at its best. It digs, it digs, it digs, it digs you out of holes that you didn't think you could get out of.
Yeah, and looking at Is It Lessons, looking at Is It Lessons here in what the metagame we're seeing right now, Is It Lessons against the Cub decks has been okay, nothing special. Since these Cub decks are having Reclamation Sage, Sentinel of Lost Lore, these type of silver bullets that really either affect the Monument, Artist Talent, or the Graveyard, that matchup is not great anymore, but the one thing Is It Lessons is really good at, beating the other anti-Cub decks.
Yes.
I think that's what we're going to see a lot, where if Alexey plays up against a lot of Cub decks, it could be brutal. If you play against a lot of decks like Dimir Control, you could be on your way to a really solid finish here in Richmond.
Absolutely. Looks like Alexey is getting in ever so close now to a 4-0 record here at his first Pro Tour. So
Yeah.
made it to Worlds, but didn't make a Pro Tour.
Yeah, really interesting to take 9th at Worlds before you actually play a Pro Tour. And really funny that Alexey played Cauldron at that way before its time. This was pre-VV, so naturally when Paulo made the VV Cauldron deck, it was just perfect for Alexey.
Consult the star charts. On the stack,
Oof.
Spell Snare says no thank you.
Man, consult the
Gab's out of
star
answers.
charts definitely got a lot worse with Spell Snare, because you tap 4 for that, it is still a true drop spell.
Congratulations, Alexey Paulot managed to pressure Gab Nassif and did so in convincing fashion there. 2-0.
Yeah, that looked really good, and definitely kind of showcased that this Dimir Control deck wants to play against creatures and 2-drops.
Yes.
So Cub fits the mold on both of those. So, maybe be looking for a little different pairing there for sure.
Absolutely. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll have more coverage of Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed. Welcome back to coverage of Pro Tour Lorewood Eclipsed here in a chilly Richmond, Virginia. It is icy outside, but nerves of steel in here as the players have been through 3 rounds of draft so far, and we are in round number 4, which is the first of our constructed. Corey, what would you be more comfortable with?
For constructed or limited?
Yeah.
Oh, constructed by far. I think my overall limited record at the Pro Tour is like maybe sub 40%, for sure sub 50. So I was always much more confident in the standard format, in the constructed format for sure.
Well, the best players here this weekend will be excellent in both of these formats. So we are going to jump into a match now between Shota Yasooka, one of the game's greatest players, Hall of Famer, versus Karl Sarap. It's going to be a Sultai Reanimator list versus 5-color Rhythm. So we've seen these Rhythm decks really pick up popularity here the last little while. Tell us what it is that Karl is looking to do here, as he is 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely. So Karl's deck is a Cub deck that has really went and took the list that we saw from Tristan Wildlaroo in Portland to the next level. It is playing these kind of silver bullet effects like Explosive Prodigy, Blight Glass Gearhulk, but it's taken it a step farther, and the Black Splash is Champion of the Weird.
I know, this is a weird card, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is exactly that, a very weird card, as well as Superior Spider-Man as another very interesting way to interact. Just 2 incredibly powerful cards. And when you just have the ability to Nature's Rhythm for anything, the opportunity cost to put them in your deck is quite low. So one other big shout out I want to give is Karl Sarap, in a way, kind of started this Cub Rhythm deck because at the World Championship played that Golgari Rhythm deck that, played for Spider Manifestation, played for Nature's Rhythm.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the first place we saw it.
It was onto something there.
Yeah, it was onto something. To be like, ooh, what if we added Quantum Riddler to this deck to make it even better? And that's kind of where we see the current Cub decks in action.
Deceit being deployed there to take a look at the hand of Karl Sarap. Shota Yasooka now has some extra information to work with. A couple Llanowar Elves. We saw Quantum Riddler in hand there too. And some lands. I missed what the other playables were, but...
Yeah, nice little hand too, but taking the Bright Glass Gearhulk makes a lot of sense because another bit of utility that Karl has access to is one, even in the main deck, Soul Guide Lantern. Being able to Bright Glass Gearhulk for a combination of different cards, either Seam Rip or Soul Guide Lantern, as well as Mockingbird.
Mockingbird is so good.
Yes,
Oh,
leads to
I love
some
this
really
card.
cool stuff.
It's such a sweet card because even if your board state is absolutely atrocious, a Mockingbird just copies the best thing on the other side.
Oh yeah, don't have a Cub? Find a Cub over there, not so bad.
Chances are, with 45% of the field registering Cub, you're going to find one.
Right now, it's probably as weak as it can get, copying one of these accelerants, but got to do what you got to do.
Hey, just wait until we find a Cub and start hoofing things.
Yep. So here is the big spot. We see some good stuff in the graveyard from Shota with, mana to cast pretty much anything. Doesn't look like Shota has another land in hand, but this is kind of the scary turn when you're playing against Sultai Reanimators. That 4-drop turn. And, you have Superior Spider-Man now that actually interacts pretty favorably with these new Evoke Elementals.
Yeah.
As if you pay the mana that you need for the Evoke Elementals, when Superior Spider-Man comes into play, you actually get those abilities.
Yeah. Such a sweet way to get them 2 turns earlier than you would otherwise.
Yeah, it's just a good plan B. The plan A is just get Bringer of the Last Gift, living end style of affect the board, but 4-mana Superior Spider-Man that gets both sides of Deceit looks awesome.
These elementals from Lorwyn were such a boon to this deck, as well as Jean-Emmanuel Depras' card, the Formidable Speaker. That card is insanely good.
So good. I went up to JED and I was like, hey, I'm so happy that you're playing 4 of your own card. And he's like, well, on the bright side, it's good. So easy decision. I was like, you would have played it if it was bad, wouldn't you? He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said it's a lot better than he thought it would be. And, because he was designing that in a vacuum. He had no idea what was coming out in Lorwyn.
Yeah.
He didn't know that these Sultai Superior Spider-Man decks were going to be as powerful as they were, so hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And I bet it's great in his cube.
Yes. Yeah, that is actually what he said. He's like, I really want a card that's good in cube. He's like, I'm going to be searching up Restoration Angel with this over and over. So.
Oh!
So this is huge. You get Bright Glass Gearhulk, and then you get to find Soul Guide Lantern.
God, this is such a sweet line here from Karl. He's like, oh, you put that in my graveyard? Thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean, everyone knew coming into this tournament that the interaction with Bright Glass Gearhulk in your own graveyard and casting your own Superior Spider-Man, a Demir card, flashing back
Of
your
course.
Celestia card, everyone was going to be doing that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Karl Sarap is low-key one of the best players in the game at the moment. I just
Yeah.
want to say, like, you know, he might not have all the crazy top finishes to
Yeah.
back
maybe
that
it's-
up, but
yeah.
like he's an excellent player.
I mean, our very first event together made the top 4 of the World Championship in 2022, where Nathan Stoyer took that down.
Yeah.
And
up
since
against
then,
your buddy Ely.
yeah, he's just been the epitome of consistency since then. You know, like top 16 Worlds here a couple weeks ago. Karl is just always one of those players that you know you're going to have a tough time against. Such a smart guy and a really
sweet
nice
line.
person to talk to, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So Soul Guide Lantern ready to activate as soon as Karl Sarap catches a whiff of a Superior Spider-Man. Shota's stuck on lands here, which is not what we want to see.
Yeah, and when we looked at the hand, you know, the Nature's Rhythm wasn't there, but that's the thing is you have 5 draws at trying to find a Superior Spider-Man, which got Bright Glass Gearhulk to do the Lantern thing we saw. So, like, the whole deck kind of circles around to itself and really kind of reminds me of, like, the Court of Calling style creature combo decks that we've seen in the past.
An attempt at an Overlord of the Bellmark. Impended. It's going to mill 4 and hopefully get something back from the yard, but if Karl Sarap has anything to say about it, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if you Lantern now, you have to Lantern before the cards get flipped over. So whatever Shota would flip, Shota would still get to pick one of those. So, you know, it's rough to Lantern in response to an Overlord, unless there's a card that's already in the graveyard that's going to kill you.
So Karl is, I wouldn't say happy, but let's just play out what is Shota going to bring back here. He's in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, because I don't think
Only
Shota,
business.
the Hall of Famer, actually has a 4th land.
No,
Okay,
so-
no, did top deck a 4th land
Oh, he
there
did?
in
Good,
Watery
okay.
Grave,
Okay,
so
okay, good.
that was huge.
Nice. Looks like he's still trying to cobble together something. He has an answer to one of these creatures in Bitter Triumph.
Yep, and that's great. I mean, Bitter Triumph, the Bright Glass Gearhulk here looks solid, but the one card that we saw pretty early on from Karl was still that Quantum Riddler in hand. So when you can just empty your hand and start drawing extra cards, you know, you always have more fuel in the tank, especially when you have Nature's Rhythm in the board too, or in the graveyard already. This deck kind of never runs out of steam.
It never does. This and Izzet Lessons, they're so good at restocking their hands.
And I mean, this is the reason why these Cub decks are 45% or 40% or so. They're incredibly powerful. They're resilient. They're powerful. They're proactive. They're everything you want in a standard deck.
Yeah.
And usually you fold to these kind of 4 mana, destroy your whole board type of Reanimator decks, but this deck just doesn't do that anymore.
Quantum Riddler here for Karl Sarap, warps it in.
And now Shota has a tough choice. I think, yeah, Bitter Triumph thing on the Riddler actually here seems just as good because, well, it stops another card just right away on surface value.
Yeah, and also stops the Harmonize cost off of
Yeah,
Nature's Rhythm.
stops the Harmonize, and it just stops it from being warped back to more than likely draw 2 cards again. But, I mean, this is the classic thing we've seen in Standard before. Like, your opponent plays an Up the Beanstalk, and players were going to destroy that. That exchange is not good. You're 2-for-1ing yourself immediately, but the card is just so powerful that you have to respect it and deal with it as soon as possible.
So it's dealt with. Karl will get to draw the 1 card off of it. You find another land there? No.
Gene
Gene
Pollinator.
Pollinator, yeah. Oh, hello.
That looks like a Bright Glass Gearhulk to me. I love that there's 2 Bright Glass Gearhulks in play, but actually
None of them
no
are.
Bright Glass Gearhulk. This deck is wild.
Laughing at you? No, I'm laughing as you.
That's the Mockingbird
That's the
flavor
flavor
text,
text,
right?
yeah.
That's incredible flavor
Love it.
text. And wow, you get 2 Soul Guide Lanterns against the Graveyard deck. Is that good, Ailey?
Well, yes.
Yes, yes, yes it is.
Yes is the answer.
Wow.
Man, Shota definitely on the back foot here. It's Karl Sarap continues to develop this board. I mean, he's not even doing the scariest thing at the moment, which is Cub, bunch of mana dorks, and then Hoofya.
Look at this heads-up play from Karl. Lantern comes into play, targets his own Riddler, not because there's no targets in Shota's graveyard, but because if Shota goes Superior Spider-Man, and Karl goes to Lantern. Lantern is opponent's only, so the Superior Spider-Man from Shota would be able to turn into a Riddler from Karl's graveyard. So big heads-up play there from Karl Sarap.
That's sweet.
I have 16, has 11.
Okay, 11.
Let's get our life totals checked out there.
Blue,
Blue, green, or for wistfulness.
And that looks great. You get to kill a Gear Hulk. You get to do some drawing. And that is great. You know, this is a flying Gear Hulk, so that is a pretty solid, the Mockingbird, kind of tough to keep track of. The Mockingbird is a Llanowar Elf, and we just have the normal Bright Glass Gear Hulk on the ground there for Superior Spider-Man. So the pressure is gone right now.
Well, he did have 2 Mockingbirds on, so the other one ended up in exile over there.
Yeah, that's the Gear Hulk one. The one in play is the Llanowar Elf.
Yes, that is correct.
But Karl doing math usually means it's hoof time.
And hoof, there it is.
3, 8, for 8.
Yeah, for 8. What are we going to get?
I don't know.
What 8 drop looks good?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Trigger.
And there you go. You just always have an I win button for 8 mana here. And that just has way more than enough.
Pollinator getting in there as well. Was it 1, 2, 3,
This is the
4,
classic
5,
G-Gene.
Yeah.
Gene Pollinator for sure.
So +6/+6 across both of them. So 11 and...
Yeah, 12, 17, 18 total trample with 5.
toughness?
Yep.
You know, I'm not a mathematician, but that looks like dead.
That looks like lethal to me as well.
Nice. And you know what? That all happened without a Cub in sight.
Yeah, and no Cub in sight. There was some solid interaction from Shota, but the interaction with Bright Glass Gear Hulk being able to find Lantern against this Sultai deck, which usually has a pretty decent matchup against Cub decks. Creature decks, you're going to want that living death style of effect. But man, maybe this evolution of the Cub deck is just... maybe solves all your matchups. It's going to be fun to watch that.
We'll see how well it does here this weekend in the hands of some of the best players, just like Karl Sarap. Next up, we're going to jump into a match in progress here. Jason Yee up against Lorenzo Terlizzi. Jeskai mid-range, a deck that isn't very represented here, as well as Azorius Control, also one of the lesser played archetypes here this weekend. So let's jump in as we join. Jason Yee is up a game, so Lorenzo Terlizzi fighting to maintain his winning record.
Yeah, and I was talking to Arch. Arch Dota is playing Azorius Control as well, and Arch was saying, my deck is incredible. It's just the fact of, all right, got to play fast, not get draws, that kind of thing. Jason on the other side, playing a much more interesting style of control deck. Shiko to get back Gwen Stacy, to have the flip side of that. We saw that a little bit at the Pro Tour here not too long ago.
It was cool.
It was cool, and now this is kind of taking that deck to the next level, and it looks really, really strong. We'll see how it interacts with this. These are 2 decks, once again, that I think is going to be my favorite wrinkle of this Pro Tour, is they look like 2 anti-Cub decks, and you bash them against each other and kind of see how the best anti-Cub deck, how it handles against the other anti-Cub decks.
I bet they're both going to have headaches after these matchups whenever the anti-Cub decks fight against each other.
Yeah.
Go Spider, the backside of Gwen Stacy, that Shika's able to bring out. Having a flying, vigilant, hasty friend out of the graveyard is pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
Alongside Shiko, which is just a crazy good card in and of itself.
Yeah, it creates just a ton of pressure. It's been pretty figured out, I guess I would say, that the Jeskai control deck of, maybe last year where it was Shiko flashing back stock up. That was kind of the thing we were doing. Like, now if you do that in Standard, well, your opponent might just kill you with a Crater Hoof. So you can't really tap out to do that as effectively now.
Jason Yee passing the turn to Lorenzo. I think we're going to see a lot of draw go here as the players just get their mana bases established.
I would think so too. Jason's deck.
Look at all those, all those no more lies in hand there. Good grief.
Jason's deck is a little more proactive, I would say. But yeah, still a lot of draw go from both players for sure.
Is this an end step to Shona's Tidebinder?
Yep, just a good old-fashioned 3-mana 3/2.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, when you're playing a control deck versus a deck that has flash creatures, I generally like the deck that has flash creatures, as you just get to set up these really powerful turns, be like, well, I'm going to play this. You either counter it, and I untap and play something really busted, or you don't counter it, and I don't play that busted thing until I can bait out another counter spell and do it the following turn.
Yeah, this list that Jason submitted, playing Elspeth, Storm Savior, we've got Ang, Swift Savior, so many Saviors, goodness me.
Oh, yeah.
Slayer, excuse me, and Shiko Paragon of the Way, you know, it's a bunch of flash creatures, not Chico, but like Enduring Curiosity, and then just a bunch of ways to remove stuff. I mean, if Voice of Victory hits the board too, like Lorenzo's, you know, shut out of the game.
Yeah. It's also playing 2 Pyroclasm in the main. That is very, very telling of what deck you are trying to deal with. And once again, the target's always going to be on Cubs. I think that's the biggest question for this Pro Tour is, 1, how do the anti-Cub decks play against each other? And 2, is Cub just better than everything else and it doesn't matter? You know, those are the big questions.
Get lost targeting the Enduring Curiosity. It'll come back as an enchantment.
Oh, that was Elspeth off the top for Jason. So if that resolves, Lorenzo's in a...
He's in a world of trouble.
World of hurt, yep. And Lorenzo, famously, we saw top 8, the World Championship that John Emmanuel Duprat ended up taking down, where we saw Alexey take 9th in 2023.
Go. Activate.
Lorenzo has a bunch of counter spells in hand.
Yeah, but wow, getting Voice of Victory there off the Quarry Mountain Monastery, that's the perfect start. We see that spell snare pull right to the front, so it's probably not going to last long, but that's a card that Jason just got for free off of its land.
Yeah. Quarry Mountain Monastery is such a great way for a lot of decks, especially when it gets to like the mid game and the late game. Refill the hands. You can do it on your opponent's end step. So.
Yeah, really kind of does do it all.
And Jason's posing all of the questions that Lorenzo has to answer, so.
Yep. And Lorenzo's form of the Quarry Mountain Monastery is the Fountain Port, just kind of 2 different cards, but you got to do a little bit more work, I would say, for the Fountain Port.
Yeah. Stock up now. Jason gets to look at its library and pull some cards out that helps them get ahead here.
Yeah, so still has that Elspeth available. Didn't look to fire that off right away.
I think Shona's Tidebinder is just going to kill Lorenzo.
It's really looking like it. I mean, the thing is, the fact that it's just a 3/2 right now, it's not just a 3/2 right now because of Enduring Curiosity. Drawing a card there, that's really all you have to do.
Really good, actually, yeah.
When you're up against a control deck that's missing land drops and not deploying proactive threats, and you have a creature, you know, an Ophidian style of effect when you're dealing damage and you're drawing cards, everything is on Lorenzo to blink first, and here's the blink. And now when Lorenzo blinks, Jason gets to untap and just deploy some absolute haymakers and probably close this game out.
Jason's hand is pretty gross. I mean,
Looks
Shiko
good.
there as well.
Lightning Helix.
Lightning Helix, yeah, that could just go upstairs because, I mean, you know, if you want to kill a fish, sure.
Basically, if Jason has Shiko and 1 counterspell or 1 other proactive thing, like Voice of Victory, land 7 Shiko, we're done. The game's over. But if it's just Shiko, Lorenzo has the answer to that.
Even Lorenzo's helping out here.
Yeah.
Taking 2 from the finally found Hallowed Fountain.
Well, it's Shiko time.
That felt appropriate.
That did. That really did. Yeah, that was nice.
What's Shiko gonna get, Corey?
I mean,
Voice?
you know how I was saying Shiko and stock up is not the thing to be doing right now? Well, it's the thing to be doing
right now?
on this turn. It looks really good. But we
Ooh, I
also
like
see
Pollard
the
too.
Elspeth that we drew earlier.
Yeah.
Planeswalkers up against Azoria's control that just used their last get loss. Pretty good, believe it or not.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna feel so good.
Oh, that's Aang too.
Ooh!
Plus.
Jason is popping off.
Jason's cooking. Elspeth, Storm Slayer, the sweetest planeswalker released in a little while. Just making so many tokens and pumping the team. Voice of Victory on top of the library there.
Yeah, and now when those tokens all have the text of draw a card when you connect.
That's so silly.
Yeah. And
Oh, man. Poor
looking at the
Lorenzo.
hand for Lorenzo, just a bunch of No More Lies, Essence Scatter, like all these defensive measures where
Does nothing.
An established pro like Jason Yee is going to just walk around these counter spells. Like,
Essence Scatter says, no, thank you, Voice of Victory. Jason Yee's not going to be too fussed about that. Plenty more gas in his hand, like Shiko, like the Lightning Helix. Yes, there's a fish on the other side of the battlefield, but...
just one fish. Now they do fly, and it looks like Tidebinder is going to try to counter this ability, but
okay.
that's going to open the door for Shiko here. Or just Aang Swift Savior.
yeah, because Lorenzo's tapped out. So.
The Shana with it on the stack.
So that's going to be 3-0 resolves to 5. Lightning Helix makes
5
6,
Helix
7, 8.
That is it. Jason Yee picking up a pretty solid victory there to go 2-0 up against Lorenzo Terlizzi. So undefeated. Jason's going to be feeling pretty good about that.
Got to be feeling very good. And just having another match end with Lightning Helix, you know, that just feels fitting for the Pro Tour. That's always an exciting way. And that deck looks really cool from Jason Yee and the rest of the team.
You can always count on Jason to bring something spicy to the Pro Tour.
Always
so.
spice, yeah. Jason Yee and the rest of the Team Sanctum, you usually don't see them just playing the stock deck. It's like, all right, there's going to be something awesome going on from that team for sure.
Talk about something awesome. It's the news desk that's going to be with you guys after this break, so don't go anywhere.